As soon as that fear comes up, that should be an indicator also, because psychological indicators are real. And fear, that means that you need to value not feeling fear. So if you value not feeling fear, then you will exit the position and save yourself a lot of turmoil. Hello and welcome to RoboTrader, where we focus on trading psychology. Today we're talking about how to not lose money day trading. Spoiler, you will. But my goal here is to greatly reduce those beginner mistakes. So up first, we're going to talk about managing expectations. They say 90-95% of traders fail, and often that's because their expectations are way too high. They expect to just make money out the gate, and sometimes they do. Ultimately, there is some. If you don't know what you're doing, there's going to be luck, but that is gambling. So you got to understand your expectations need to be correct before you get involved. And you have to invest time, you have to invest energy, and you're not going to see the return you're expecting. I didn't, and I had a lot of bad habits that I had to work out through my errors. And ultimately your errors will be showing you where you lack. When I first started trading, I made a lot of good moves, and I understood some technical analysis, and I really just jumped in there with real money, and I made a lot of mistakes too. That's going to happen often, unless you really are disciplined from the beginning. But everyone's saying it. You can watch other videos too. They all say you need to put the work in, and we'll talk more about it later, but, paper trade. There's systems out there so that you can get the experience you need to have the results you desire without the same risk. From my experience and talking with other traders, I've noticed that typically it takes anywhere from a year up to 4, even longer. It really depends on what hurdles you have in front of you. They can be childhood stuff. They can be the way you were raised, your environment. A lot of things can affect your trades and the way you approach risk. Ultimately, you gotta realize that this is not about making quick money right now. You can, you might be lucky and you might be able to get rich, but this is not about being rich. This is not about getting a sum of money quick. This is about generating wealth so that you can build and create income and passive income and dedicate time to other things in your life. Now, the second thing we're going to be talking about is studying. So I follow technical analysis. That's where I fell in love with the market. That's where I really started to understand how things worked in charts. I was lucky when I first started it. It was in the middle of the lockdown, so March of 2020, and so I had a lot of time on my hands. I came across a video, and I'm not kidding you, I spent, I would say, 10 plus hours every single day, 7 days a week, researching the market. And not just the market, researching technical analysis, because that's really what I found interest in. I was not interested in fundamentals. I understand some of them, but that's not what I trade. I look at the charts, and I'm a scalper. The charts are where I started, but then I started to understand options and open interest and volume. I'll create videos on that later, but you learn how to adapt yourself and get the results that are going to match your desired outcome. There's so many ways to approach the market, and so many people on YouTube and other forums offer their system, but not everything works for you. Everyone is geared differently, and some people like to swing trade. They don't want to micromanage their positions. I'm the opposite. I need to see what's happening. I need to watch my risk right in front of me, and a trade typically is no longer than 30 minutes for me, if not a few minutes. When I had all that free time and I was researching on my own, I did end up investing in a course to better understand the market as a whole, and it was a huge help for me. That being said, this is very doable without a course, and all the information is available to you. It's just how you can apply all these indicators to match a very concrete strategy that you can then turn into profits and consistent profits. Now, studying is not end all be all. Okay, I understand technical indicators, that's it. Studying entails getting on the paper trading. Thinkorswim's a great one. We can do another video about that later. I just started this channel, so bear with me. Just trading the live market really opens you up to everything. And it's different paper trading, yes, but having that practical aspect and trading the live market so that you can really work on your discipline. You can work on how you're feeling when different things happen. When your trade fails, what are you going to do? Are you going to let it ride? Are you going to try to see if it can fall into a different risk-reward scenario? Those are your judgment calls to make. When we make these judgment calls, we are also responsible for the outcome. So you got to understand, this is your capital that you're trading with, and you have to respect it. And you have, it's not a gamble. This is not about a gamble. You're not taking $50 to put on red at the casino for one night for a couple months. This is about developing a strategy and ultimately a routine that you're going to apply to your own life. Get up early, feel good. How am I going to nourish myself and invest in myself emotionally, mentally, and whatever you need to really be in control when you're trading the market? Because it's not about, things will change. It's so dynamic, but you need to be able to adapt and adapt with confidence. So the third topic we're going to be talking about is discipline. And by discipline, I really just straight cut and dry, it's about honoring your stop loss. When you understand your trade and you understand your risk reward, then when you're down and you hit that support where you're like, okay, this is my bottom line, you have to pull the plug. And you have to exercise the tools on a paper trading app. That's what I suggest, so that you, no matter what, you exit that trade if it goes against you, and you look for a different setup. That is the hardest thing I had to learn. It is so difficult because you want to be right. You want to think that your trade is correct, and you'll bet your money on it. Trust me. When hope is involved, emotional triggers, it really takes you out of the trade. So you need to reevaluate, exit it, and look for a different setup, because if you did step 2 where you studied and studied and studied, and you'll continue to study, but the bulk of the work is in the beginning, then you'll see another setup and you'll see another opportunity, and the technical analysis is there because it works. So that's honoring your stop loss. That's the number one. Now, understanding when to take profits is a different animal. That depends on volume, what the trade is. Is there resistance above you? Is this a momentum trade? Is it a trending stock? There's so many different aspects to understand. Are you going to manage your position and sell half or maybe a quarter at different levels? Because if you let it run and then it pulls back and you miss profits, you will kick yourself every time. And it's so difficult to exit a trade after you lost profits. It's so tough. It's one thing if you enter a trade and it instantly fails and you exit the trade. Once you see some profits, that's why personally for me, I had to kind of go to scalping. I was playing this game. I was like, oh, am I a scalper? Am I a swing trader? Do I like to use the 5/15s? You have to really examine that for yourself, and that's part of the paper trading route. Now, the fourth topic we're going to be talking about is removing the psychological dilemma. Now, this is about, in my perspective, squashing fear, hope, and doubt. Those are the 3 emotions that are going to really screw up any structure that you have. So fear, hope, and doubt, those are the things that you will feel as you're learning this, and as you go through different trades and you see them fail, see things take off, sometimes you're in something that just soars and the hope is there. Like, oh, is this going to make me rich? Is beyond my wildest dreams. I've had it. But guess what? I've also had those profits diminish because I let it ride overnight or something dumb, I didn't want to take my profits, because you don't profit until you click that sell button. As soon as that fear comes up, that should be an indicator also, because psychological indicators are real. And fear, that means that you need to value not feeling fear. So if you value not feeling fear, then you will exit the position and save yourself a lot of turmoil. And doubt. Doubt's another one. So doubt is really about your composure. It's about discipline. You studied this so that you can be a confident trader. That doesn't mean you're going to be right all the time, but you want to be confident. And that means when you're losing, you want to exit it because you want to maintain that confidence. So doubt is another indicator. If you just get rid of it, you are in control of your funds. And the fifth topic here is about the overall idea of this. When I look at it, and I'm thinking about me as a day trader, I want to be the sniper. I want to be their stealthy. I want to be their discipline, waiting, removing doubt, removing hope, removing fear. I want to watch that in the chart. I want to watch that in other traders, because they're going to flood the chart with that. And you want to use that to your advantage. Because as soon as you see it all kind of spiking, you're like, wow, they must be so hopeful. They want this thing to soar through higher highs, whatever. And then you spot the weakness. You can use that as an entrance. And then it could get crushed. Often it does. If you study, you go back to step 2 and you know what you're doing and you know the setups, that's where you can really see a lot of opportunity that others don't. They are chasing a momentum. It's marketing. It is being a consumer. They are feeding off of your energy and your emotional capacity to take your money. So you need to understand that and deprogram yourself so that you are now applying strategy, and you are really, you're not trying to be right. You're not going to be right 100%. This is about being diligent, disciplined, and keeping an edge. This is an emotional edge. This is technically an edge with the technical analysis. It's insane once you really see these patterns and how often they play out. It's really something else, and sometimes it's just resistance and support. That's all you need. If it fails at a level, that's a trade. If it is strong at a level, there's another trade. That's your bottom line, Now, in my perspective, understanding all these components before you really put some hard-earned money into the market, I think you should paper trade, really watch all these things. Fear, hope, doubt. Those are the 3 indicators that are going to give you an edge over others, because they're stuck in that emotion. You see it before it gets you. And that's when you either exit a trade or you enter a trade. Because at some point that hope's going to be squashed and all those people are going to start selling. Because when that hope turns to fear, people get weird. Well, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you have a great day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll keep the content coming.